The Sports Box proudly presents Birnbaum versus Galetta in a field goal kicking duel. Watch as Sports Box host Hamilton Mike Galetta takes on local fan David Birnbaum in a field goal kicking duel for the ages. We will go live Sunday, February 26th at high noon for all of our YouTube subscribers. And if you'd like to be there live, come on out and support us at Mark A. Sorali Memorial Field on Flittertown Road in Elm. This is one you will not want to miss.
Well, hello again and welcome to the show that, just like Pepto-Bismol, it relieves everything. This is the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters. Hands up! It's right here.
What's wrong with you?
I am Mike Galetta, a.k.a. Handsome Mike, along with my partner Brian, the Ranger of Tart. Brian, how are you?
You didn't hit me with the thing, thank God.
I didn't. You got scared a little bit there, didn't you?
What are you doing?
That's right. One of these times I'm going to scare the hell out of you.
This guy.
Anyway, today, well, first of all, of course you know the Sports Box. If you've been here a while, you know you can always get us on social media if you need to.
We're everywhere. We're on Twitter at Sports Box Show, on Facebook at Sports Box Show. Especially, again, our Facebook subscribers get those special live videos. Make sure you're looking at us there. And, of course, YouTube, you'll have the opportunity at the end of the show to subscribe to our channel. Please go ahead and do so. We love you to do that.
Yep. And today we are going to talk NBA. We're going to talk about the fallout from the Noel trade. You know, listening to a little bit of sports talk today on the radio, you think we traded LeBron James out of town. Unbelievable following for Noel. So, Brian, why don't you give the trade people that don't know about the trade?
So this was, in my opinion, I think, the big deadline deal. The 76ers agreed to trade Nerlens Noel to the Dallas Mavericks. In exchange, they got Andrew Bogut, Justin Anderson, and a conditional first-round draft pick. Now, the devil's in the details, because the condition is that first-round draft pick is protected between picks 1 and 18, which means it has to be 19 or lower for the Sixers to get the Mavericks pick this year. In the event they do not, that pick becomes 2 second-round picks in future years. And if you look at where the Dallas Mavericks are right now, they're not going to have a pick outside the top 18.
No,
I think that's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, this trade, see, I don't mind the trade that much. I think here's a guy, the only thing I mind is that they could have pulled the trigger on this sooner. I mean, they knew for a long period of time, and Colangelo actually said that today in a news conference he held today, that they basically didn't want to pay Noel. They didn't want to give him the $15 or $16 million he was going to get as a free agent to play limited minutes, because if you look, people say, I don't mean to jump around, but people say that the process is shot now. Well, but the process was set up to go a certain way. With the injuries you've had on this team, it's kind of gone awry a little bit, because now you have Okafor here, you have Embiid here. You know, the Ilyasova trade, I don't mind that either, because now you gave more minutes to Saric out there, so he's going to be a starter. But the Noel trade, here's a guy you can't give. I don't care if the CBA is going up next year, or the collective bargaining agreement is going up next year. You can't give that much money to a guy who's not going to play more than 22 minutes a game or 20 minutes a game. It's just not feasible, folks. But like I said, the problem I have is not getting him out of town earlier and getting a better deal for him. At the end of the road here, you know, like we said, we're going to buy Andrew Bogut out. Jimmy Anderson, okay, we'll see what happens to him. I don't know if he's going to end up being a good player. And how many second-round picks are you going to have? They have 20 picks between now and 2022. It's amazing for a basketball team to have that many picks in that many years.
Here's the part to me. Again, I am not a huge basketball guy, but I know enough to be dangerous. I think that this is just horrific asset management by the Sixers. Yep. I'm gonna tell you why. So Nerlens Noel was brought into the Sixers. They back in 2013, the night of the draft, they sent Drew Holiday and a first-round pick in 2014 to the Pelicans for Nerlens Noel. Yep. So this wasn't one of those years that was a tank year. They weren't really that good that year, but it wasn't a tank year. The problem by getting just basically 2 second-round picks, because they're not gonna get the first. That is lipstick on a pig to the nth degree. They were never getting a first-round pick. It just looked good when you first saw it on Twitter. Correct. So call it what it is. Bogut, who's going to get bought out if you already didn't.
Yep.
Anderson might be an okay player, but that's a shot.
Can play a little defense, but can't shoot.
And two second-round picks. So you look at that, and you mentioned the process and everything. If you're going to keep trading away the players that you tank for, and I know they didn't tank for Noel, they did for Okafor. You're just spinning your wheels here, okay? I find it very hard to believe. Now, Dallas is very happy to get Nerlens Noel. Now, he's a restricted free agent. They're going to sign him to whatever it takes to sign him.
Well, they need a center, so.
Yeah, but the question that I have here, Mike, and again, you're a bigger basketball guy than me, what would have precluded the Sixers from giving Noel the money Because again, they could have matched any deal that he got from somebody else.
Free
Okay?
agent, correct.
They could have given him the money, which they're not up against any kind of a salary cap right now. They're not paying anybody on this team. And it's just money that they're not currently using, and they're not going to use it for quite a while. So what precludes them from signing Nerlens Noel to the deal that he wants? And then, obviously there's a market for the guy, trading him after that deal is signed. Whether it's in year 1 or whether it's in year 2, I find it very hard to believe that they wouldn't have gotten more than a buyout center, an okay, maybe player, and 2 second-round picks for a guy who was taken with, I believe, the 5th or 6th overall pick the year he went.
And by theory, that works. You can do that. But the problem you run into then is you're dictating the market to people that if you do sign in the $16, $17 million, is anybody going to sign into that price? Will he go to that price? I think he will. I think he'll get about 14, 15 million, to be honest with you. But if you sign him at 17 million and then you don't get any team out there to offer you 17 million, well, you're stuck with him. And now your cap's screwed because you paid all this money for the guy. So that's the disadvantage for a sign and trade. Behind closed doors, you can talk about a sign and trade. Talk to Dallas Mavericks and say, hey, listen, we're going to sign this guy. What do you want him signing for? 15 million. You talk to Noel. You get it set up. You sign him. Trade him away. But to sign him on and with the hopes of trading him, it's just kind of what they did now. I mean, you run the risk of letting him walk at the end of the year anyway, but I think they did the right thing in trying to move him. Now, the Okafor thing is a totally different story, with how they couldn't trade, Jamil Okafor. They had a deal on the table with New Orleans supposedly a while ago. They had a deal on the table with Denver. Denver swooped in, tried to do something with it. It got all nixed, but, I kind of think they're dropping the ball in these trades. They're overvaluating their players. This is definitely going to be a tank year because they need a guard play. They're going to get one of the guards. They have enough picks they can get a guard. So, hate to say the process rolls on, folks, but it does roll on. You're going to have Simmons out for the rest of the year. It was announced today. And Embiid is out for at least 4 games, maybe even the end of the year, because they're just trying to lose as many games as they can right now.
But to put things in perspective, if you just take Anderson off the table and realize that Bogut was going to get bought out anyway, the Sixers gave up Nerlens Noel for the same price they got Ish Smith for.
And again, yeah, exactly, and that's a good scenario. And like I said, the thing I'm concerned about is why didn't you do this earlier? If you weren't going to sign the guy because you weren't going to pay him anyway, why did you wait till the last minute and try to handcuff people? Because look what happened. You got screwed. You gave away a guy for 2 seconds.
But I just think you're just cutting off your options here. I mean, what if Embiid doesn't really get better from this injury? You just don't know that.
See, injury's a scary thing though. You're taking a chance that he's going to stay healthy and that they're going to move on. Because if you play with injury, you can't keep 2 centers on his team. They have too many centers on his team.
No. I go back to what we said, Simmons or Ingram. Right. And I had said Ingram for the sole reason that you had too many big guys on the team. So I completely agree with that. But just from a pure asset management standpoint, you gave up, in essence, Drew Holiday and a first-round pick for 2 seconds. That's what you did. Well, for the same price that you got Ish Smith for, who's nobody.
Drew Holiday didn't really work out here. He wasn't going to be the player that they thought he was going to be. And Noel was kind of an asset in case something like this happened. But with Okafor here, it's fine to get rid of Noel. I would have rather got rid of Okafor and kept Noel in the same sense. But you got rid of Noel. You got something for him. Was it a lot? No, it wasn't anything.
But the tank is back on.
It's back on, and I think this team is kind of in flux again to see what happens. I mean, God forbid if Simmons or Embiid, something happens injury-wise where their career is precluded. I mean, you're really screwed back to the process again. I mean, where do you go from here? You start all over again.
And that's another thing too. I think that. So why these players aren't playing, and it's funny to me about that because I don't necessarily think it's because of injury.
Well, I think it's a mix. I think
they're not rushing these guys to go get healthy.
Right. A while ago, you heard that the CT scan was good on Simmons and he was practicing, and now all of a sudden you hear, oh, it's not healing right. The CTC came back bad and he's not playing. I think that's kind of odd that would happen like that. And if you go back to when Embiid talked about making the playoffs this year, all of a sudden the next day or two he was shut down. And he's played 1 game since, so it's kind of a little leery. I don't want to.
Which for the record, I believe in the NBA of all leagues, especially if you're not going to win, lose. I think that Sam Hinkie had it dead on, and we're going to have a show, about the pros and cons of tanking. Really,
thank you very much. Yes.
The Sixers as a test model, but I don't know. To me, it's just you keep drafting these players, you keep using these assets on these players, and then a year, 2, 3 later, you're sending them out for 7 cents on the dollar.
You really roll the dice.
It's hard, and it's just, I don't know. Again, I'm not a huge basketball guy, but I know enough to be dangerous. And to me, the risk of having Noel on the team and not being able to trade him, to me, you can't tell me that Noel on a deal doesn't get you at least what you got here.
Well, he's the guy they drafted, and he's turned out exactly what he's supposed to be. He's a little bit of a rebounder, not a big one, but he's a rim protector. Is what he is. He's not a big scorer, but he's a rim protector, and that in the league is supposedly a valuable commodity. But this team has just gotten so many big men with the emergence of Embiid and with Okafor there to back him up. Pretty much, we're playing another position. You really can't have three guys on the floor like that at one time. It's just and with his contract, that's why we talked about before. I think he was going to get moved.
Just remember, Timothy Mozgov's making 4 years, $64 million. You can't tell me that you couldn't have got more for a sign.
And you know what? The funny thing is, it goes up next year too.
Yeah, but again, I mean, how many good centers are there in the league? Really, not that many.
Yeah,
so
he's not one of them. Wow. Somebody will sign him to be a center. Like I said,
he's only 22.
They'll give him big money. He'll be a center, and that'll be that. So, yeah. So that's all the time we have. Thank you for watching our Sixers after the Noel trade. Keep an eye out. We always have good stuff coming. And remember our sponsor, first of all.
This episode of The Sports Box is brought to you by Mic'd Up Entertainment and DJ Mike Velardi. For all of your event planning needs, make sure you contact Mike at 609-864-5925 and tell him that you saw him on The Sports Box.
Thank you. And always remember, we can always get us on social media if you
Absolutely. Make sure you're watching us on Facebook at Sports Buck Show, especially Sunday, February 26th, where we're going to go live as Hamilton Mike Galletta takes on Dave Bye with Birnbaum in a field goal kicking duel. Make sure you don't miss. That's going to be exclusive to our Facebook subscribers. So find us on Facebook at Sports Buck Show. Like us there. You'll have live access to that video as we're going on. And I know that Mike is just getting very excited.
Oh, I'd say it's going to be a slap fest. I'm going to kick his ass so bad it's going to be embarrassing. I may kick a 45 just for kicks. Backwards, I might kick it like a mule.
Kick it back,
like a mule kick.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about that?
So who's the ass then?
It could be a lot. Depending on who shows up, there could be a lot to choose from. Anyway, we always thank you for watching. We always appreciate you watching. And remember, at the Sports Box, the only opinion that matters is still
right here.
Oh God, it's so right here. I can't wait for something. I'll see you.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or rent in the South Jersey area, give Dave Birnbaum a call with RE/MAX Community, 856-524-2927, and buy with Bird.
Subscribe.